I'd like to take a topic about snacking foods. We love to snack a lot. And the question is, how good is this snacking food, right? Is it good? Is it bad? Should I snack? Well, stay on and find out what are probably the dangers and what you can actually snack on so that, things are better for you. Okay, so now that you're here, let's jump into why we snack on food. We love to snack, or at least when do we like to snack on food? When we watch movies, and especially when it's a thriller and there's an action scene and something is really intense going on, we start eating faster. Oh, it's a lot of suspense, and then so you get you've already got into the rhythm of the movie, or it's so intense the movie that even your body also wants to partake and have some more excitement by having food. So, or maybe you're meeting friends over a drink or kind of a social evening, and then it's a kind of a common habit to snack on something. Of course, snacking has come down slightly in the recent days because now people pull out their cell phones and they start texting. Okay, earlier people used to start snacking, but now we snack on our mobile phones, which is also not a good thing. It's very impolite. So, my advice to you is, if you're one of those texty ones and you keep chattering on your mobile phone, it's very impolite to the person who's sitting at your table. Is going to also pull out their cell phone, and they're also going to start chattering. And while you're doing that, one hand you'll be texting, and the other one you'll be snacking. So you know what? It's not much different from what you would do sitting alone. Okay. So when it comes to the snacks, what is not good to eat? Now, the first thing, you get a lot of packaged confectionery items, right? From biscuits to cakes to you name it. Okay. Biscuits, fried snacks, goodies, fried stuff, and they seal it nicely and whatever. It's kind of okay, however they make it. And they're usually made by some kind of dough. Okay. They use some kind of dough, they dry it and then they fry it, or they bake it, or they shake it, or whatever. What have you? Things like instant noodles. Okay, protein bars. Okay, you think they give you energy and all that. It's full of sugar. Okay, there's the there's a myth about the protein bars that you get because they use a lot of preservatives in it, and there's a lot loaded with sugar and a lot of other stuff inside. And it's not really, I would say, the real protein part of it is not really the big part of the protein bars. And then this papad and these little fry things that you have, when you have it in excess, it's also not great because there are certain additives in that, but not as much as you'd find in all the biscuits and all these packaged cakes and things like that. So many of these things that you get, including potato chips and a lot of stuff, is fried in refined palmolene or cottonseed oil. Now, if you don't believe me about what these oils are, just go and look at a video on how these oils are manufactured, especially refined palmolene oil and cottonseed oils, or what you call industrial seed oils. Just go and find out. Okay. And how do they purify it and what do they do? You'll be probably a little shocked as to what all the process that goes into it. And you will be wondering why you didn't know about it. Okay. Well, now you do. And when you go and see it, you'll open your eyes to that. Now, a lot of, especially potato chips, like I said, they fry them in this. Okay. And breads nowadays, whether it's brown bread or white bread or any carb, multigrain, somehow they'll end up putting palmolene in this. Okay. Or cottonseed oil. Or they'll say refined vegetable oil because they don't want to tell you exactly which refined vegetable oil they're using. Okay. So whenever you're going to buy one of these snacks, before you actually jump into this great venture of snacking, go and look at the label behind. Go and look at all the ingredients that you see behind that, and you'll find some class two preservative, and you'll find just go and just do a kind of a Google on that, and you'll see exactly what the hell is inside that. And when you look at your entire snack that you've had, the processed snack, there's absolutely no damn food in it. Okay, you've just been kind of hammered by one new set of chemicals. Okay. So the way we are going and the world is going, we're all eating a lot of these packaged foods, and there are so many chemicals in it. I think we should call ourselves Chemical Brothers. I know it's a great music group, but unfortunately, uh, the way the processed food industry has got into our lives, we are kind of subjected to, a strange new thing that never existed about 100 years ago. Okay. Uh, yeah, cakes, unfortunately, are usually made out of maida, or what we call processed or refined wheat flour, which is typically bleached. Okay, when the flour is nice and white, and a lot of the nutrients are stripped off. Okay, and it's absolutely something that will become blood sugar faster than table sugar. You know, the white sugar you put in your coffee and tea. Uh, Maida becomes blood sugar faster than that. Okay. So if at all you find somebody whose blood sugar is low, you don't give them sugar, you give them a piece of white bread, you know, the sugar will kick up immediately, much faster. Why? Because first of all, it's processed. And after you've processed it, you've baked it. And that's again going to break down the carbohydrates into a more simpler form. And the body just loves this stuff because, there's no work required. So, okay. So anyway, uh, enough about the lecture on that. I think you get the idea. Now, sometimes we step out into a restaurant and we're with our friends, and then we have these quick snacks. And you'll tell the waiter, what can I get? Jaldi bhai, kya? What is there? What can I get quickly? Fatafat. You have all nice terms for this. What's on express? And I have the whole other thing. So what you'll typically get are these things like peanut masalas and green salads, which take about a couple of minutes to get because they just toss and give it to you. Now, the only problem about peanuts, which are fried, they still have too much of lectins in it. Now, if you ask me, what's the lectins? Okay. Now, a lot of plants have a defense mechanism, and this defense mechanism releases itself when this bacteria or some kind of a pest trying to eat at it. It starts to release this lectin, which actually starts to kill the bacteria or drive the pest away. Now, these lectins will kill any kind of bacteria. And when you consume this, there is good bacteria in your body. I think you understand what or probiotics. Okay. A lot of them, they live all over your body. A lot of them live in your intestine or your guts, right? Now, these things will even kill that. Okay. And it's extremely lethal for that. Okay. And if eaten it in this raw form, and the lectins will be at its most potent. Green salads, cucumbers, it's a good example. And the seeds are the ones that are loaded with lectins. Okay. Even tomatoes or tomato, whatever you want to call it, uh, the seeds also have lectins. Okay. So you might want to remove the seeds in the skin. So if eating cucumber, you just want to just knock that off. But then you'll be left with something that has probably about 95% of or 90% of water in it. So, but anyway, it's okay. But if you can avoid it, just avoid it. Okay. And then another thing is when they toss onions into these kind of quick snacks, this onion might have been cut 3 or 4 hours before, chopped and kept in a tray. And what happens is just pick it out and throw it, toss it, and give it to you. They don't cut it freshly. Now, the problem with onions, and even if in your own kitchen, if you have half an onion and you're not going to use it, please throw it out. Because when it's exposed to the air, the bacteria, it's a nice living ground for bacteria, and they will sit and grow on it. And what happens is this is in your own home, but just imagine if it's outside in a restaurant where there are people roaming around and there's whole lot of other stuff happening in the kitchen. And you can imagine what will happen to those onions that you are consuming. Okay. Now, sandwiches you get a lot of these fancy sandwiches now, and a lot of them will contain creams and sauces, and these things are not good. Okay. And especially if it has cream inside it, you'll get the salmonella virus, which kind of gives you a really bad food poisoning after that, depending on how strong the strain is and how much of it is in there. And a lot of people I know who do eat sandwiches with cream in it, or cream in anything for that matter, they suddenly get kind of a really, really, bad tummy. Some get a slightly bad tummy, but you feel uneasy after that. So my secret here is, if you're going to have one of these sandwiches and you find out, you just ask them, do you put cream in it? Do you put cream in it? And they'll most often say, yeah, we do put cream in it. They'll call it mayo, which is not really the real mayonnaise. It'll be the creamy kind of sweet mayonnaise, which they'll put into it. So what you can do is, I do this trick, ask for an omelette sandwich. Now, for them, they know that, the omelette and cream definitely kind of is not a good match. And it's a lot easier for them because they just fry the omelette, which is absolutely fresh. Okay. And they throw it into your bread, and they probably butter both the sides at best, is what they can do. Okay. And sometimes they don't even butter, which is even fantastic, even better. Okay. But remember, if they do serve it with white bread, then you're marching down the maida, the refined white flour route. So I will be surprised that even a lot of ice creams have palm oil in it. Yeah, you go and look behind the labels, and you really need to buy these products. You can actually go and look at them online. If you're buying them from a online delivery, or somebody who will come and drop it home, you'll definitely get a picture of it, and you get 2, 3 pictures, and go look at the ingredients behind. And you suddenly, lo and behold, find something as funny as palm oil. Now, I think when ice cream is made out of so much of milk, why would you really need to put any kind of oil into it? I mean, it just seems counterintuitive that butter and all that ghee and everything all comes out from milk. So why would the hell would they want to actually put palm oil into this? Now, for all you know, this might be for a lot of reasons. It might be so that it doesn't stick to the mold. They're making certain ice creams, they want to kind of release it, so they might want to use palm oil because they'll use that to grease the pan, or who knows. Okay. But it definitely shows up as an ingredient. So while we thought innocuous and lovely ice cream, which we now like to have, especially in the summertime, that's not going to be great. So you ask, what the hell do I snack on? Right? You've taken away everything. What do I eat? No, there are things that you can eat. You could definitely eat boiled peanuts. You can eat boiled chana. Very popular all across the country of India is the chaat, and chana chaat, masala puri. These are one of the better ones because they're loaded with good stuff, and they usually cook this for a very long time. So the lectins are kind of removed from that. So something you can actually, it's a decent snack to have. Don't have the aloo tikkis and the samosa chaat, and this kind of, then you're stepping down more carbs in your stuff. So don't do that. Boiled vegetables, you can have boiled broccoli. You can sometimes they even have tandoori vegetables, which they put over a grill or a barbecue. You can even have that. That's fantastic. It tastes great. Moong dal, we get those snacks. You can definitely have that. Even boiled with a dash of vinegar, and probably a little bit of red pepper, red chili, a little mustard in it. It's fantastic. And you can just boil it and then season it, and that also makes a great snack. You can have bowls of them. It's just super. Eggs, great thing to have. You'll always, typically, if you do eat eggs, you'll get them almost everywhere. So you can definitely ask for that. If you're not sure what they put into the egg, especially omelets, you just may want to settle for a plain boiled egg, or maybe a scrambled, because then they don't have any reason to put any additives into it. Now you'll be surprised. Homemade butter popcorn is actually a damn good snack. Now the popcorn popped seed has a lot of fiber in it, so it's a damn good snack to really have. So uh, why homemade and not the ones that you get in the theater? Because the problem with the theater ones, they usually used a lot of packaged popcorn, and they contain oils and not butter. And these oils will go back to palmolene or cottonseed oil or blah 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 blah. Taste like butter, but it won't be butter, and that's not safe. Okay, so that's why I say homemade popcorn. Many ways to do it, just go look up the internet and say, how can I make my own popcorn? You can make it in a pot. You can even make it in the microwave. So you just find out how to do that. It's really quick to make, and you can definitely get corn seed a lot of. So I recommend you do that. Sweet potato is something great to snack on. It has, even though it might be sweet, and it does have a certain type of sugar in it, but it has a lot of fiber. So The glycemic index of that sugar is, again, not as bad as white bread. Okay, so, excuse me, dark chocolate. Okay, there are a lot of benefits about dark chocolate, and when I say dark chocolate, I mean 70% and above. Okay, and sometimes they call it bitter chocolate. They have lots of names in it, but it's something you can snack on. And you don't have to eat a whole bar; just eat one or two squares. I'm not saying go feast on it. Uh, just keep it around. It's something that you can definitely have. Okay, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, hazelnut, natural raisins, and dates. Okay, which are not been sweetened, are also damn good. I get sesame seeds or til laddu as that also pretty okay. But you'll find a lot of foods that do contain and snacks that do contain sesame seeds. And if you if you don't find it, then what do you just take a whole lump of sesame seeds by itself and kind of flavor it with a bit of salt, pepper, and maybe some throw in some raisins and a few nuts, mix it together and scoop and eat it. It's great. Okay. Baby potato. Okay. Baby potato simply because there's a lot more skin on the baby potato, and the skin has a lot of great properties that also makes it an interesting snack. And of course, the pulp inside is a little smaller, so you won't be consuming too much of starch and carbohydrates. But there are a lot of minerals that are there in the skin of the potato, which are very beneficial. And if you just cook them a little bit and just stir fry and put good kind of masalas or spices on top of it, it makes a fantastic snack. Okay. Of course, fruits, definitely. Apples, guavas, musambi, oranges, black grapes, berries. These are some things you can eat on. Please do not take ones which are sugared and dried, and then it defeats the whole thing because it becomes another processed food. Okay. So the moral of the story is processed snacks contain bad oils, and they also have sugars, and they have very processed flours, additives that make it tastier, but they have absolutely no nutritional value, and in fact they may have a negative value for you. Many foods that you do eat have lectins, and they need to be boiled for more than or approximately 45 minutes to get rid of it. Okay, otherwise the lectins will have a dramatic effect on your body, and they'll start killing your good bacteria. Eat foods that are natural. I mean, if you find them in a natural form and with a little bit of manipulation, maybe you might want to cook it a little bit, or eat them as far as possible in a natural state, not gone through some processing. Okay. Use butter, ghee, uh, deep fry foods in rice bran oil. I recommend that you use rice bran oil because it can sustain heavier um, temperatures. They won't break down. They don't become toxic like a lot of other oils. And they're also a little beneficial for the heart as well. So it's a kind of a safer oil to have in the long run. And if you want to dress a salad or just want to make your food a little, maybe too dry, then definitely use virgin olive oil, not any other kind of olive oil, virgin olive oil and butter. I don't recommend pomace in the olive oil thing because it's kind of famous around saying that it's a healthy oil to cook with, but I don't recommend it because it's kind of like pressed at the fourth stage, and you get probably nothing out of it. You just get another kind of a leftover substance. So try to use virgin olive oil to dress your foods, and butter or ghee. Okay, so it's because butter and ghee are not processed foods. They're churned. There's a mechanical process. There's very little bit of chemical processing done to it, so it's great. Now, wheat, that if you do use wheat, then it should be from a natural grain and not a hybrid grain. A lot of the wheat that you get today is hybrid. The problem with hybrid wheat, even though it's brown and all of that good stuff, its glycemic index is still higher than sugar. Yeah. So what I tell you to do is look out for these types of wheat in India, which is the Kafli wheat, okay, which you'll find a lot in Maharashtra, and Sharbati wheat, which is grown in Madhya Pradesh. These are two wheats that they're still their original native grain. They've not been made into a hybrid. And this is something that doesn't have such a high glycemic index. The glycemic indexes are far lower, and they're a lot safer to eat. They definitely have great Also the same great nutritional value. They have a good amount of fiber. And even if you're getting snacks like this, which they usually typically make in wheat, if you find out whether the baker can make it with this, including your bread, it'll be great. But usually, they won't. So you might want to know how to make these wheat items at home, which is might be, learn how to probably get a, or don't even have to learn, you can probably get these machines, electrical ones, where you just put the dough and some the yeast and whatever, and it'll just do it, and by morning you'll have a fresh loaf of bread. Yeah, you can try that out, or just use a standard oven. And if you're trying to make the other kind of wheat snacks that are fried or dried, you may want to make them yourself. So, thanks everyone for being in here. And like I said, if there is anything or any topic that you find interesting and you like to know more about it, you definitely write some comments below. And uh, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, just also do that, so that you can be in touch with some things that you may or may not be aware about, but definitely affect your life. So that's it from me, from Dynamic Vitality. Thank you.